Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with a continuation video of our top 10 list of rogue cards to brew around in Magic Origins. I apologize for having so long between our number 9 and now our number 8, 7, and 6 list. I'm also going to include number 5 on this list because these are all cards that had a very strong showing at the Pro Tour Origins and then at Grand Prix San Diego. And I just want to talk about them a little bit and then also say I'm not going to do a video series on them because they've gone mainstream. Now, when I made these predictions back in the spoiler video of Magic Origins, these 4 cards seem to be more like rogue cards than they would be tier 1 cards, but they've proven themselves to be very, very staples of the format. In fact, the Ensoul Artifact deck that uses 3 of my cards from my top 10 ended up having 2 finishes in the top 8 at Pro Tour Magic Origins and then a 9th place finish at the next Grand Prix the following week, and is the second most played deck on MTGO at the moment. So once a card or once an archetype goes from the realm of rogue to mainstream, I especially lose interest and move on to bigger and better things with more obscure strategies. So I'm not going to play an Ensoul Artifact deck, but 3 of the cards that I picked were Pia and Kiran Nalaar and Thopter Spy Network and Hangarback Walker. Hangarback Walker is definitely the breakout card from Magic Origins. You're seeing this card in Mono Green Devotion list. You're also seeing it in Black Blue Control, Esper Control, Mono Black Devotion type decks. I've seen them use this. I've seen this used in Jeskai Tempo. People just throw this card everywhere in the format, as it is just such a powerful card to cast it for 2. It is at the minimal, it's a Doom Traveler for 2 mana. At the highest potential you can get, this card can just take over the game, and when it dies, you put that many Thopters into play, and it's just a very, very, very tough card for a lot of the decks in the format to deal with. Even a Doom Traveler for 2 is pretty significant in this particular format, with a lot of aggressive and control decks running around. They get punished by something you have to kill twice. So Hangarback Walker is around, I mean, it's been ranging around $14 to $20. We all know of the impact that the card has had. Pia and Kiran Nalaar have really been replaced for Whirler Rogue. I don't know if I agree too much with the Whirler. Whirler Rogue can give unblockable. With your Ensoul Artifact, that's pretty significant. So these have a very, very similar interaction here. So this puts out 2. The Whirler Rogue puts out 2 Thopters. Pia and Kiran Nalaar put out 2 Thopters. Whirler Rogue doesn't get punished by the legendary. Pia does get punished by a legendary, meaning you can't have 2 of them out at the same time. And I think the unblockable by tapping 2 untapped artifacts, which is what you're going to get from the 2 Thopters coming out, it's just slightly more powerful than sacrificing an artifact to do 2 damage to our creature player. If this didn't have such a high activation cost, I would give the nod over this. But this particular deck by Steven here actually had a mix of both, having 3 and 2. And so that was kind of cool to see that 3 of my prediction cards from Origins, or 3 cards I wanted to brew around, ended up having a very significant impact on the Magic Origins tournament. So again, I'm not going to showcase decks with these cards. They've already proven their worth in the format. This is already mainstream deck. This is kind of what I wanted to do with the deck when I was initially brewing around with Magic Origins. Of course, the Pro Tour beat me to it. Been extremely busy with weddings and funerals and all the other stuff that happens at the end of summers, and haven't been able to focus much on Magic the Gathering in that time period. And I apologize. I really wish I would have got onto this deck before it became mainstream, but it is what it is. Now, the second card I'd like to talk about that has also hit mainstream is Jace, Vryn's Prodigy. Another powerhouse, another breakout card. This is seeing a lot of play in Esper, UB controls, Sultai control especially loves this card. And I'd say the best deck right now in the format that is playing a significant amount of copies of this is going to be the Jeskai Tempo deck, or even Jeskai Aggro decks, because it gives you a 2-drop. A lot of the newer decks are running both Seekers and Soulfires and Jaces, so really they're only 2-drops. They're only playing 2-drop creatures and Mantis Rider. Goblin Rabmaster and Stormbreath are still an option in this deck, but again, I've seen more of this like Seeker of the Way, and then all burn spells. They run Dig Through Time's Treasure Cruise, and then all burn spells. I'm let's see if we can find an actual version that's running that. But you're basically going to find most of these having Jace Vryn's Prodigy. I think this is a pretty good example of it. So Jeskai Charms, you have this one's running more control with Ultra Command, but I've seen lists that use the Exquisite Firecrafts. They're using Stoke the Flames. They're using Jeskai Charms, and it's just an all-out burn with Jace getting rid of land drops, getting rid of insignificant cards, and allowing you to treasure cruise or dig through time into more burn cards, and just win with that route. So Jace is here to stay. I still think it's a very fun card to brew around, but it's hit so mainstream, and it isn't a lot of 25 tickets right now, which I think is a little bit above my budget for MTGO at the moment. And so eventually I might make a Jace deck. Probably come rotation, we'll mess around with it. But I think he's here to stay. He's found a home, and I don't think it's worthwhile for me to try to brew around it. But let's just talk about what decks he does fit in. I mentioned like Sultai, so there's Esper Dragons that it fits in. There's also Sultai Control. Both these are going to be running. This one only runs 1. I've seen Esper Dragons run a total of 4 copies in the deck. This one's none. But Sultai Control, again, he's found a pretty good staple in here, at least the 2 of in this version. Again, seen many decks run 4 of. Way he works in Sultai Control is it fills up with, along with Satyr Wayfinder, able to fill up your graveyard, and then through cards like Den Protector, Murderous Cut, Dig Through Times, it's giving you a lot of ammo in your deck. Tasigur especially. I'm surprised this one doesn't run Tasigur, but Tasigur is a really, really good card with Jace, as it's going to give you that card per turn in the graveyard. I mean, people can say that the Delve and Jace work, it's kind of what they call a non-bow, but I don't think so. I think Jason, and you're going to usually fill up your graveyard and flip Jace, and then delve away the cards through Tasigur or through the Dig Through Times or whatnot. So perfect card in this strategy. You're seeing this card in aggro. You're seeing this card in mid-range. You're seeing this card in combo. You're seeing this card in control. It's anything but a rogue card. I mean, it's just such a value-based card. I've talked about how good it was in Rally the Ancestors deck because it's something you can safely mill your combo card and then rely on able to flash it back with Jace's flashback cost. So anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about these. I apologize for not jumping on these brew cards quicker than I was able to do. But looks like my internet's going to crash here. But anywho, in the Battle for Zendikar, I'm going to try to be more vigilant in getting some brews out for you. Just thought I'd go over these. If you're interested in the top 10 list, I'll put links in the description and put this on the playlist. But now we'll go on to the Starfield of Nyx in my next video. And I do have a deck that, again, is mainstream, but I did play some matchups with it. And we'll show you that one that uses Starfield of Nyx. Anyway, this has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.